Hey everybody, it's Sunday Long Run, and we're out here on Peters Canyon Trail with Denny and Evan on Father's Day. What a great Father's Day gift.
Happy Father's Day, Mr. Denny and Daddy.
All right, we're heading back home on Peters Canyon Trail at around 6:50 pace. Today, my big bro Denny, he's gonna talk about how to break 3 hours in the marathon. Sub-3, it's such a big goal for a lot of runners. As soon as beginner runners accomplish different milestones, it's not long until that sub-3 mark is on the radar screen. So this is going to be definitely something worth watching, and hope you get a lot of good information from it. So Denny, why don't you talk a little bit about yourself and give your background.
Okay, let's see. I was never anything special as far as running. I ran track in high school and just an average, short distance sprinter. Ran casually for many years. Ran my first marathon when I was 30. Just ran sub-4, nothing special. And then always limited my running to, because of time constraints and whatnot, to like, 30, 40 miles a week. Then probably about 5 years ago, it have to be like 48, 49, I started to get the idea of qualifying for Boston, which for me was like a 320 or 325, and so I started putting in more miles, up to maybe 50 miles a week, and then hit that. And then some friends like Mike came along, and they're running with the goal of sub-3, and at the time I just thought that was impossible. Yeah, but I think running with a lot of other people who had similar goals in mind really brought me back out of it, and thinking that it was a goal that I could accomplish. And so, some of the things that really made a big difference was increasing the mileage into the 70 or 80 mile range, following a plan and being really consistent with it. In the past, I would run, 4 or 5 days a week. Gradually got that up to 6 days and 7 days a week. And it really makes a huge difference, just that consistency factor. And as you start running, you read all these things about marathon training, and, they're eating well, doing your strength and conditioning, all this stretching and stuff, warming up. And when you're younger, at least for me, I was like, well, I only have time to do the running part. I don't have time to do all that other stuff, because, you have kids and stuff. So as you start to add more things, you start to do the eating right, you start to do more stretching. The stretching allows you to stay out of injuries, more strength and conditioning, makes your legs stronger. You can build up a longer cycle. I've gone about 2 or 3 years now without having an injury. In the past, it used to be, every 6 to 9 months, there'd be something nagging. So just being consistent and being dedicated, having that goal in mind, and doing all the little things that it takes, It's a routine. When you get up in the morning, you stretch a little bit, you do your run, you do some stretching afterwards. Then when you come home, you do maybe a half hour of strength and conditioning work before you go to bed. And then, of course, get a good night's sleep and eat well throughout the day. And it really does make a difference. I never thought of myself as a really good runner. I'm not somebody who can roll out of bed and run an 18-minute 5K or anything. That was never me. But if you gradually start doing all these things that you read about, and incorporating them into your routine, you can really build and get faster than I never dreamed I'd run sub-3 or even any faster than that. But just put together some consistent workouts, and it's possible.
And Denny, you are how old again?
52 years old.
I guess it's even more important to kind of pick all that low-hanging fruit and do all the extras to really be able to reach your potential, huh?
Yeah, and as you get older, it's like you can't pound your body as much. You have to be very aware of that line between getting a good workout and just really thrashing yourself for the next day or whatever.
So, Denny, what kind of injuries have you had, and what did you do to resolve those problems?
For me, most of the time was a hamstring injury. I'm not very flexible compared to most runners. I can barely touch anywhere close to my toes. I was always running with my hamstrings and getting injuries. Then I think about 3 or 4 years ago, I went to physical therapy and they taught me to run with my glutes more than my hamstrings. So I think I'm much more balanced now. Do a lot of activation exercises before running that gets the glutes involved. And that kind of thing really kept me much more injury-free. Also, I do a lot of core work, you know, planks and other core routines, get the whole body balanced.
Hey, Denny, one of our viewers who's a little more mature asked a question about how we're able to kind of control ourselves, because, you know, you get an itch every once in a while to like run harder than you should, right? Or run faster than we should, or what's prescribed. How do you kind of control yourself and get that itch?
Yeah, sometimes you're feeling good. You're out doing some track work, and I always have to remind myself not to race the workout, you know? They're not giving any medals out on the track when you're doing your workouts. You just gotta keep your focus on the plan that you're running, hitting those times.
Yep.
If you're hitting them really well one day, that's a good sign for next week. You don't have to blow it out, especially as you get older. Yeah, as you get older, you really gotta watch that line between injury and just getting a good workout.
I guess on the other side of the token, there are times when you're just not feeling it and roll out of bed and everything's all creaky and just unmotivated. What do you do in those situations?
Well, get the run started is good. A lot of times when you're not feeling good in the morning, you can go for a mile or two and it all just comes together. And you know, eventually it becomes part of your routine, you know. A lot of times when I'm running, you know, 7 days a week, I'll think in the afternoon, did I run this morning? It's like, it's just part of your routine and you don't even notice it so much anymore.
So Denny, what is your favorite aspect about running?
For me, it's a lot about getting outdoors, you know, a lot of stress relief. I get very anxious if I'm not out running, and it's something that really gives me a time to clear my head. And then there's the social aspect of it also. You know, you got good running clubs that you meet, get together with friends, and really feel like you're a part of something.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome how running can be so beneficial on opposite ends of the spectrum. Whether you have a need to be alone and connect with nature and yourself, or whether it's a need to connect with community. Hey Denny, what's your favorite type of workout?
I like speed workouts a lot, even though I'm older. It's I gotta be careful, but you know, you and I started doing these fartlek runs.
Oh yeah.
Incorporating a lot of speed intervals into our long runs, and it made a huge difference, I think, as far as our marathon training, but it gave me a chance to break it up, try out some speed work.
And it's fun too.
Yeah.
So Denny, do you have any advice that you want to give to any aspiring runners who might be similar to our age, or any age, that has a goal of going sub 3?
I guess just be consistent, you know, stay focused on your goals. I was, you never know what you can do. I mean, 10, 20 years ago, I looked at people qualifying for Boston. I thought that'll never be me. They're running like a 3:15 or a 3:20. I was thinking, that's just unreal. But if you put together the training, be consistent, like I said, you can do anything.
And sometimes it's hard for people to just even understand what their potential is. And then, but once you do, you start working on it. It's just a matter of consistency.
Yeah, and be aware that it's not all going to happen all at once, you know.
Right.
Sometimes you'll have a good block and you'll cut 10 or 15 minutes off your marathon time in 6 months or a year, and then you might hang around there, and then you got to find something else that gives you the next bump before you plateau again. But if you stay at it, even, you know, I think of myself as an average runner, you can do it.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us on this long run. Denny and I really hope that you're able to find some helpful information in this talk. Whether your goals are to break 3 hours in a marathon, or run a faster 5K, or just start being more active on a daily basis. Denny and I would like to encourage all of you to stay on your path. Keep your eyes on the goal and keep working hard every single day. We wish you well. Thanks again for joining us on this awesome morning. Please, please, have a meaningful run. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.